Hey, how's it going there, folks? Welcome back here to a Saturday night. It is the Earthmaster out here, August 24th, 2024. It is about 10 p.m. here, California time. Latest activity on the Earthquake 3D globe shows a 1.1 into Alaska. Let's go ahead and check out Southern California here first, where we got a little earthquake just outside of Bakersfield. 2.1 coming into this area. Hard to tell if this swarm is going to, as far as the earthquake activity around this region is going to completely die off or just maybe take a little break and then pick up. It's been off and on here, hit and miss with earthquake activity outside the Bakersfield area ever since that the 5.2 struck back a couple weeks back now. Looking at about 750 earthquakes in the last 30 days here. I was going to say last day, that would be a lot of earthquake activity. Yeah, I mean, things are look like they're slowing down for now across this area, but only a matter of time before things pick back up once again. Some minimal earthquake activity down south here across the Borrego Springs area. Northern California got a little bit of, well, this is northern, but further up north here along the plate boundary, got a little sequence of earthquakes here around the San Andreas Fault, scattered out and about here. I got some twos out there, and looks like a couple ones in there as well. Now, I think we're coming up on the time period here where we should see roughly about a 6-pointer around this area of the Parkfield region. San Andreas Fault here. Parkfield section sees regular occurrences of earthquakes, seems like about every 20 years or so. And the last one, if I remember right, was back in around 2004 or so. I'll have to double check that, but we'll cover that on another night here. Definitely seems like we're getting close to at least seeing another 6-pointer on that area of the San Andreas Fault. A couple of smaller earthquakes up north here in Northern California. Let's run over and check out the tremor map here tonight, see what we have. Goodness, still kicking up here. 737 epicenters just today along the Cascadia, mainly up here across this area of Washington, and a little bit here in the extreme southern coast here of Oregon. And it's just been consistent here. In the last week, we've seen, let's see what we got for total tally. This is just the last week, almost 4,000 epicenters of tremor. And if we look at the sequence here, roughly it kicked up around we can pretty much call it the 7th right here, right? So if we cover this, and we'll search this area, since it began, we got about 8,697 epicenters of tremor, and most of it here has been around the Washington area and southern coast here of Oregon, and a little bit in Northern California as well. As you can see, this is pretty much the end of the Cascadia down here. It doesn't go much further down south. I got a new mouse coming tomorrow. This one's going to go in the garbage here. Because my little spinny wheel here in the middle, when you make it go in and out here of the image, well, it's kind of messing up. But either way, a little bit of earthquake activity or tremor activity out here in the last month. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Not a whole lot of earthquake activity up north, but got to remember here that tremor activity definitely stirring up underneath this region. Nothing strange going on across the volcanoes for now. A couple smaller microquakes, but that's about it. Over here across Nevada, near the Walker Lake area, looks like earthquake activity has died off here as of this afternoon, the last one being a 2.3. Seen a bunch of 2s and 3s here in the last 24 hours, and the total tally here of earthquakes shows about 60 earthquakes here in the sequence of various magnitudes here, specifically in this area. But I'm not for sure which fault system that's on there. There's numerous faults out here through Nevada. A little bit of activity south here near Tonopah as well. Some smaller quake activity. Yellowstone National Park, nothing showing up here on the map. Let's double check though, make sure. Wind, this looks like wind and thunderstorms earlier. I keep saying that because they keep getting these afternoon thunderstorms popping up here. So that's not magma movement. It's not, anything other than the environment around the seismograph stations here, which is thunderstorms. Now, this reading right here, though, let me pull this up. That is some type of other event. Let's see, when did that strike here? That was about 6 o'clock. This is going to be mountain time here. Wonder what one that was, because that's a signal that showed up there across many other seismograph stations. Parker Peak as well picked it up, and also across the Lake Butte area. Let me look at that and see what that was. I think I know what it was. Wasn't there an earthquake up in Canada? USGS not showing it. Not showing up on the EMSC model either. Let me go over here and check out the Canada Earthquakes Canada map here real quick. If I remember right, that would explain it. 824, 4.8 earthquake today. Up in, let's see here if we got a map. There it is in the star, the epicenter. I missed their other map here that they used to have. Let me see. That's just historical data, but that would make sense. So let me get a time frame on that when that kicked up here. At see, about 6:50 Mountain Time here for a 4.8. So that would explain this right here. Pretty lengthy earthquake. Showed up across Yellowstone National Park, and of course that earthquake seems like it struck way up here in the Alberta area. I don't know why it's not showing on the earthquake 3D globe here. Is EMSC reporting this quake? Let's see here. Back out. Oh, this is going in the garbage for sure. Nothing here within the last 24 hours. I find it a little rare that they're not reporting that. Yeah, that's a little strange here. But anyway, we'll there it is up here on this map. There we go. It's a little bit better. Up in the Alberta area. Wasn't there a few earthquakes back here a few months back, if I remember? Out in these oil fields that were out here. I don't know if this is specifically out there in that region either. Excuse me. Goodness, just came on all of a sudden here. But yeah, anyway, 4.8. Didn't want to spend too much time on that, but that's an odd earthquake. And it's odd that nobody else is reporting it aside from the Earthquakes Canada site. Interesting. But that is the reading that showed up there across Yellowstone. Nothing going on too much here across the rest of the southern plains here in the southeast. A couple of smaller earthquakes out there, but really nothing big going on. Hawaii out in the central Pacific. See what we have. Looks fairly minimal right now. Got about 10 earthquakes, so... Oh, well, I want to verify that, though, real quick. See if there is only 10 earthquakes showing up. And to do that, we can check out a seismograph station here. And wow, it looks pretty quiet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess, yeah. Not a whole lot showing up there on the seismograph station. So things taking a little break here across the Kilauea Volcano area. Deformation data tells us that, let's see here, kind of leveled off. Not a whole lot of change here in the last day. All right, that's a second sneeze. I have not done that in quite a while, so I get a couple free passes here. All right, so backing out here, let's see what we got for the New Zealand area. Still seeing some earthquake activity in Australia. That earthquake coming in late last night, low 4.4. They've been getting a handful of earthquakes out here in this region. New Zealand still has to adjust. Not really seeing too much in terms of larger scale adjustment down there. Got 3.4 a little bit further south. It looks like along the Alpine Fault, South Island area. Aside from that, mostly deep earthquake activity here into the Tonga Trench once again. That's going to be this area up north. And, man, goodness, got a lot of activity stirring up here across the Middle America Trench. Look at that. Lots of 3s and 4s. Further out into the cluster zone there. I call this a cluster zone because this is pretty much where all of the plates tend to, well, cluster together. Look at all these arrows pointing off in the general plate motion direction. Australia crunching the zone up here. Got the Eurasia plate as well, creating that little crunch zone. That's why we're always seeing earthquake activity out here. It's never, I don't think it's ever quiet. I don't recall the last time we've ever seen this region quiet completely. So we're always seeing earthquake activity, Philippines southward into the Indonesia Islands area. I like to call it the crunch zone. I mean, it just kind of makes sense there. 4.5 up along the Izu Trench, and still seeing a little bit of earthquake activity here across the Kamchatka Trench here, the northern edge, just off the coast of Russia. But let me see what we got. The last one about 7 o'clock this morning for 4.7, so we'll continue to keep an eye on it, right? Certain areas are, building up quite a bit of steam here, and one of these days we'll see the big quake out here. A couple different regions are well overdue for some big activity. One's up through Alaska, really nothing major going on for 2.5 and above. Pretty quiet. There's nothing showing up for that model. South America, let's head on down. Wow, that was kind of weird. I don't know why it did that. South America area, a couple 3s, and looks like typical movement. Not a whole lot of specific large-scale activity down there. The Atlantic Ocean, quiet as can be. Mediterranean area looks like some movement out around the Sea of Crete area. A couple smaller quakes, a 4.3 and a 3. Really nothing major going on there. This is going to be this, Aegean Sea, north of Crete here for this earthquake earlier this afternoon. Is what's going on up in Iceland? Are we still seeing the eruption, or did it completely halt? Let's check it out. Well, we at least got one good fountaining going on here. This is a live view here of the current ongoing eruption there across Iceland. Livefromiceland.is is the website to check out these spectacular views. So yeah, there's at least one there. Let's check out a broader area. I don't see anything further down the line here, so it just looks like one general area. And yeah, I mean, it's continuing, looks like, for a little bit as far as the eruption goes. Let's see if we got any newer data from the Icelandic Met Office here real quick. See where we're at. Need to go up here. Oh, this mouse, man. It's old. And by old, I mean about a year old, but I use this thing continuously. So eventually, the little wheel's gonna, have some issues. I tried to blow it out, tried to clean it. It's just, yeah, time for a new one. This update was put out way early this morning, and nothing new. This is probably about 24 hours old for Iceland time. So nothing, doesn't look like anything's changed out here in terms of any escalation further than what we've already seen. Earthquake activity down here across the area, still somewhat active north here. And I don't know if this is, they said there was 2 different regions there that showed continued fountaining. But this whole fissure opened up roughly about east of Slingerfell, and it stretches about 4 kilometers in length. So look at this little legend over here. There's about 3, 4. It looks like we're still getting some elevated earthquake activity north here. And I'm not for sure if that's going to, escalate maybe for some further fissure opening up north. I know we've lost a lot of volume of magma from below. Let's see where our run times are. Let's go with the Savartsingi area. That's a pretty good drop right there in terms of the inflation and lack of, depletion of the accumulation of magma below. This is the vertical displacement. That's a huge drop. Of course, that makes sense, right? The magma finally broke through, and we got lava flows across the land. Still going down, it looks like. So we'll just keep an eye on that, see if anything changes here in the near term. Space weather activity here on this Saturday night. Some more M flare activity, but really nothing major. These are all low-grade M flares. I don't think we've seen anything Earth-directed in terms of CME activity. There's not a whole lot of auroras here in the forecast. Numerous sunspots. There's a bunch of them out here, and there's a bunch of them facing the Earth. But notice, yeah, they're separated here. There's not a whole lot of center focus complexity going on here with any of these. I still think maybe this region here, and we've been watching this area throw out some low-grade M flares. Looks like maybe something brewing out here across the far eastern limb. Let's check out the far side of the sun here real quick, see what we got. 16, 18. I don't like the motion here. I just want to see, is this the most recent one? Yeah, it looks like it. So, yeah, here's all these sunspots that were on the Earth-facing side about 10 days ago. They're starting to stretch back over here towards the eastern limb, and we'll see these return on the Earth-facing side of the sun once again in about a week. These are some massive regions here, so it looks like things could get interesting in the here pretty soon. I don't see anything immediate going on here, but this is about a day old, so these areas are probably a little bit more out this way. So we'll see them within a week for sure. See what we got. 15% chance for X flare activity, 70 for an M flare, C flare around 99% chance or so. Let's check out hurricane activity, because we got some activity out here in the Pacific headed towards Hawaii. This is expected to be a major hurricane for a short period. We got 125 mile per hour sustained winds here with Hurricane Gilma moving off to the west-northwest at about 9 miles per hour. That's a fairly strong hurricane. Going to amplify a little bit tomorrow, it looks like, before toning down slightly. It is expected to at least be a tropical depression as it heads towards the Big Island, where there is some tropical storm warnings, or tropical storm. Where's our warnings at? Hold on a second here. Did they cancel those? Because last night I could have swore I seen some warnings up there. Maybe they're thinking this thing is gonna back out. Yeah, I don't see any current hurricane warnings, watches, tropical storm, anything up here at Hawaii right now. So I guess we'll just kind of watch that. There's a chance here that it could, well, there's a model right here that shows Hawaii. A couple models showing it advancing northward before even hitting the island. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But it is expected to weaken quite rapidly. There's a beautiful, well-defined eye on it right now, tightening up. And that's a beautiful hurricane, absolutely stunning, and very powerful as well. Good thing this is well east of the Big Island. Let's check out a couple of numerical models here on the weather chart. See what we got. We can just check out the Central Pacific here, which puts Hawaii. Let's see here. Up here a little bit. It's kind of a weird image, but that's actually, this is, let's go back here. That doesn't look like it's accurate. What's a good one to use? We could just use the North Pacific here. Why not? Hawaii's going to be out here. Is it really that close already? Huh. Interesting. couple different systems out there. I mean, right now it shows one really closer to Hawaii. This is the most recent data, right? Looks like it is. I mean, we still got a ways to go, though, here before it reaches the area. Unless there's maybe some other tropical system out there. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Another one we can check. See, I don't like going to all these different websites. A one-and-all website for weather is going to be the windy map. I absolutely love it. So there's some type of tropical system out there right now. This is for Saturday at 10 p.m. And let's see here. Wind gusts. There's a little bit of activity going on here. So which system is this? There we go. This one. Tropical storm Hone. There's their tropical storm warnings right now in the blue. So with Gilma, there's nothing being listed. So that's a little bit of activity stirring up right now. Got 65 mile per hour sustained winds with tropical storm Hone here, it looks like. But after that, let's see what we got here for Gilma. I'll put this into motion here Monday or so. Look at that tight hurricane. Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, it's going to take a northward turn and disintegrate, which is good news for Hawaii. And then after that, yeah, I don't see anything else showing up there. Far as rainfall accumulation goes, let's see what we got here across the area. Stand by here for a second. Okay. Looks like there was another earthquake out in Nevada. Missy Mimi's just let me know that. There we go. Look at that, 4.2 stirring up out there. We just kind of chatting about how it got awfully quiet. Let's go check that out once again. Look at that. Same area. So that would make that the second largest quake here in the sequence of earthquake activity. I thought I heard some knocking on the door, but I couldn't really tell. Let's see what we got. So largest magnitude, yeah, second largest magnitude here in this sequence of earthquakes, and it's really not a there's really no main quake. There hasn't been a 4.3 and then a bunch of smaller quakes. It's just various magnitudes, and now we got a 4.2 after a little quiet period here this afternoon. It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon when our last earthquake struck, so now we got a 4.2 stirring up out here outside of Hawthorne, Nevada. This is underneath automatic status review, so let's see what we got for some magnitudes out here. Station details. Yeah, there's a couple fours in there. It's probably there's a 5.2, one station reporting that, but we also have some threes in there as well. So average would come out to a low grade 4, probably at 4.2 where it's standing right now. So, we'll continue to keep an eye on things out here, folks. As I mentioned, they can take a turn for a little quiet activity, and then things really stir up. All right, I'm going to bounce out of here, folks. Hope everyone has a good night. We'll still keep an eye on things out here. It's definitely some interesting activity out here in the West Coast and Nevada recently. If you put together these swarms and earthquakes that we've seen around Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Ridgecrest, Las Vegas, and now the movement seems to be heading northward here recently. You put all that together, and there's definitely quite a bit of strain out here in this area of the plate boundary. So keep an eye on the San Andreas Fault. One of these days it's going to pop, and it's going to be a big one. The best thing to do is be prepared and make sure you have some type of family plan. Let everyone know what to do in an event of a major earthquake, and say you lose communications, maybe a place to meet or something, because obviously cell phones aren't going to be working with everything being down there following a big 8.1 earthquake in Southern California. So got to make sure we have communication out there somehow in order to get a hold of your family. All right, so I'm out of here, folks. 4.2, 4.3 miles below the surface, and the recent earthquake activity here across Nevada. We'll catch you guys back out here in the morning. Have a good night, folks.